Wow. Wow, the Celtics, they got past. They got past their blind movement. They got past their lapses of judgment. And some of them were just really awful. Like the inevitable phases when the Warriors go on an 8-0 run in 37 seconds. But look, hey, the Celtics, they reached the other side. And I have a question. Has there ever been another team like the Celtics? Has there ever been a team competing in the NBA Finals? Like any team in the NBA Finals can just dominate a quarter, but when it's happening, as you're watching, you are just absolutely assured they're going to blow it somehow. They're going to blow the lead. Like the other shoe will just drop just as hard as it falls. Ever been a team like that? I mean, today that was going to happen in the third quarter like it did in games 1 and 2. But obviously because Steph was in foul trouble too early, he wasn't able to exert as much force on the game as he would have liked. And obviously they had to bench him. So meaning they were only outscored 33-25 today in the third quarter. So that's the Celtics. So despite Steph, this is crazy. Despite Steph having 31 today and 34 and 29 in games 1 and 2, we sit here today with the Celtics leading the series 2-1. And we know, right, that the longer this series drags on, the more tired Steph is going to get. I mean, he's their only consistent high offense scoring weapon. Only one. It's the only thing they have relied on for high scoring offense. So the Warriors, they just keep spamming this Steph Curry button. And today obviously didn't work. Partly because obviously Steph was in foul trouble. But also just because the Celtics, I mean, let's give them credit. They came out swinging. They came out locked in. There's a bit of red hour back in the pregame with the ring not being the right size. I love that stuff. Good old Celtics stuff. But look, the Celtics are playing in a way that no one has played that great collectively since the Showtime days. Unlike the Warriors, who just, they stand behind this one dude, the Celtics are much more independent as a collective, right? Which is a more stable system to be in. That's what I'm telling you guys. I said this in the previous video. For too long, the Warriors were this ethos of a selfless system beating the crap out of these solo-centric teams. Like Harden could never get past the Warriors. But today, the Warriors, they're still fundamentally unselfish, but they don't really have a choice to play like that. They're a lot more one player does it all. That's who they are. And that's not the Celtics. At least that's not as much as the Celtics. I mean, this is going to be a problem. You're going to see, the track record of little guys maintaining excellence in the deeper stretch of playoff series, in the deeper stretch of games, having to do everything on one end just to maybe survive. It isn't terrific. Now, Steph got hurt today. And, we're still waiting to hear those updates, but that's not a good look looking down the line. The Celtics, they are the opposite. They still play through Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They have their guys. But, as this series continues to develop, by the way, they are both becoming a little bit more even in value to me. The difference between the two is still there. Tatum, understand this. Tatum, despite not being the most confident guy, despite not being the most outspoken leader, is still the number one dude. But when Tatum had that bad shooting night in game 1, Brown was there to drive up the offense. Obviously the same didn't happen in reverse in game 2, but at least with the Celtics, I know what I'm getting from them. I know what I'm getting from the Celtics. The scoring will be aimed, we know this, to come through Brown and Tatum. But for Golden State, it's not like that. The scoring will come from Steph and whoever has the hot hand that night. It's a lot more murky. It's a little bit more in the air. And because of that, it's a lot more inconsistent. Don't get me wrong. For the Celtics, Horford, White, Smart, hell, Neesmith, they're more than welcome to drop 20 points a game. More than welcome to drop 20 plus. But at least I know the direction of the team, which is to play through their wings, right? It's more predictable. The role players know that. The coaches know that. For the Warriors, it's, okay, let's see. Wiggins, yeah, you look hot for one quarter. Now we think this is time. Jordan Poole. Oh, nope, Jordan Poole, that's not working. Wait, didn't work. Change that. Clay is making some shots, but we're not really liking the percentage. Heck with it. Hey, Steph, let's feed you. a lot more ambiguity. The only other really rock of continuity is Draymond, and he doesn't score the ball. And I get he adds a lot to the offense, a lot of playmaking. He's really great at setting picks. He's probably the greatest set picker of the generation, especially when the refs let him do whatever he wants. Like, whatever he plays. I mean, he was one of the 3 most impactful plays on the floor in Game 2. Which, I mean, obviously Game 2 was just anarchy, it was chaos, it was just all fouls being caught. But when the Warriors, this is what I'm saying, when the Warriors, they don't have KD, when the Warriors don't have this more reliable, healthy Clay, Draymond just doing everything but scoring, obviously he's being the glue guy, it's a little less appealing. Especially when Looney's on the floor, also not scoring. That's 2 guys. So, with Golden State's their random, spontaneous approach for who's going to score the ball, besides, obviously, Steph Curry. And then you mix in, obviously, Steph finding himself, it's going to happen every now and then, Steph finding himself in a bit of foul trouble. Everything turns a little bit more chaotic. But on the Celtics end, I at least know how many shots Brown and Tatum are going to make. Take. Making is a different issue. But it's only when, Smart and Horford don't shoot, and then Tatum, I don't know if it's a shot or anything, he loses his aggression, he doesn't shoot, and now all of a sudden the functionality of the team is more in the air, right? That's when they begin to fall on their sword. So, obviously, like, both teams are guilty of this. It's not a perfect team or a non-perfect team, but the Warriors, they operate just way more in this gray area, way more. And sure, they would love if Clay would score, 25 a game every game for the rest of the series. But we know that won't happen. We know Jordan Poole won't, he won't be making up for Steph's bench minutes every time. We know Wiggins either he has it or doesn't have it, right? That's the Wiggins dilemma. But for the Celtics, you at least know kind of what you're getting, right? Like, I'll tell you this way, like, when things get testy, they do, when you enter a late game situation, now you have a system to fall back on instead of it being so dependent on what's happening that game. Okay? Like and subscribe. We're uploading many more videos today. Like and subscribe.
1.